Cost approach is so easy because what they do is, if you go to page 41, they actually break down the cost approach for you in an appraisal. So you see, everybody see it? So now I want everyone to fill in on the cost approach formula as we go through this, all right? So what's the site value? 800,000. Everybody see that? Circle it. And then put it right here on your little chart. Okay, fill it in now because I'm going to ask you a question after you have the numbers in there.
What are you talking about?
Show her where to start. What? 41. Okay, next is site improvements. How much is that according to the cost approach? So the appraiser's doing the work for you. 30,000. Put that in there.
Where are you getting
Site improvements, 30,000. He's telling you site improvements. Page 41.
Cost approach. Oh, after
Well, it's there. It says the numbers on the next page. On page 41. It's right here. It's telling you right here. Okay, you understand? 18? Never now. Yeah. We're reading it and adding the numbers here. Okay, now we talk about the improvements. So the dwelling, the fireplace, the garage. Obviously, dwelling construction is going to cost more than the fireplace or the garage. So for the dwelling, he's estimating $150 square foot. Those days are long gone. But based on that, what's he show the value of the dwelling? Yeah, 186.6. Everybody see it? Fireplace, how much? 15. Fireplace, patio, fencing, 15,000. To rebuild the garage, he's saying $70 a square foot. How much is that? Right. So then he says subtotal. Add those three together. What do you got? What do you got, James? James, what do you got?
Oh, I don't know. 228, 200.
It says right there on the cost. It says there on page 41. It tells you.
228.
You got it, Jimmy?
Yeah.
What do you got?
228, 200.
Good. 228,200. Okay. That's the value of having to rebuild the house, the fireplace, the patio, the fence, the garage. Everybody understand?
Yeah.
The total value, 220. But now what he does is he backs out depreciation. How much is depreciation? 85,000, right?
Based on what?
Well, every year you take down a portion of it.
Okay.
That's the number they're using.
Okay.
Okay, so what's the depreciated cost of improvements other than land? 142,625. So now you add that together and you get the cost to replace the house and the land. What's that number? $972,000. Now watch this. This is kind of interesting. Where's this house located? Does it say?
Yeah.
Where's it located? Does it say? I don't remember.
Third Street.
It's
1813 Third Street. I don't know if it says actually. I don't know if it says. It doesn't say. Okay. So this house is located in Manhattan Beach.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So now let's go a little step further. The total value is $972,000. Of that, $800,000 is just the land. The house, cost replacement of the existing house, is only 172,000. What's that tell you this is?
Location, prime location.
Well, that too, but what does it tell you?
Junkie house?
Junk house. This is a tear down on a beautiful lot in Manhattan Beach. I can just see that. I happen to know it's true because I was involved with the appraisal of the house. But just telling you, looking at the numbers, it tells you the whole value here is the land. I mean, what house is worth rebuilding for 102,000 is LA County, right?
2005.
Yeah. So now, that's the cost approach. Now let's look at the hard one. Now we have the income approach. Oh, by the way, cost approach. Cost approach we use for anything that there's not going to be costs, like a church, like a cemetery, like a community center, like a synagogue, like anything that you probably are not going to be able to get a lot of properties that are comparable to it. Go ahead.
So we're doing an exercise to assess like the value of a property, right? These are the three different ways that you're teaching.
I can't hear you.
So this is a way to assess the property value, right? So this is one approach. Who puts this together and how do I?
The appraiser.
And it's public information? I can
It's
just
not
grab it?
public at all, it's given to who's ever paid for it. So I wanna buy a house, it's in escrow, I get an appraisal. Appraisal comes in on the house, it'll give me the comps, so I know what it's worth, like we just did on the Courtney house. And then it'll give me the cost approach as a comparison. So now I know what I'm what it's gonna cost to replace this house.
Wouldn't we wanna know that before we actually buy the property?
Well, we looked at all kinds of ways to find that out before. But the appraiser is the guy who's licensed and is gonna gain $700-800 for us to give us a professional opinion.
Do you have any insights as to how he depreciates this?
Hold on a second, this could require a large bottle of water. Ask that question again.
I said, do you have any insights as to how he arrives at these depreciation values?
Like a formula?
Oh, the numbers he knows for square footage, for Manhattan Beach, for the garage, for the house, for all those things. And then they have these books, well now I assume it's all online. But that has all the formulas and he looks at the actual property and the other properties and then plugs in the numbers.
But the appraiser does that, so.
Appraiser just gives it to you, you can trust what the appraiser says.
Yeah.
Can't you, Doc, can you trust what the appraiser says? Not always.
Are all your offers subject to an appraisal? All your offers are subject to an appraisal?
No, as a matter of fact, not, because I'm buying at pennies on the dollar and I'm taking as is. Camille?
If you notice